Hey mermaids, it's Abbey here, and this episode of the Everyday Mermaid podcast is sponsored by our friends at Tiny Siren Animation. They have an original animated series called Sirenetta and the Second Star, and it's the story of a part-time mermaid princess who defends her Caribbean home from a wicked pirate queen. Visit www.tinysiren.com to learn more about Tiny Siren Animation, and you should totally check out their line of Sirenetta-inspired t-shirts. It's perfect for the everyday mermaid. All my mermaids. Hey everybody, it's Abby, your everyday mermaid, and this is my mergal pal here.
Hi, it's Lauren.
And we have a very special guest on the podcast today. I can't even believe that the world has brought us together, but we will talk all about that and more. But everybody welcome Sarah Clanton.
Yay! Hello everyone, it's so nice to see you. I can't believe I'm here.
I know.
This is like a dream come true.
Shall we tell the story?
We have to tell the story.
Okay.
Tell the story.
So, I'm at Abby's house and we were recording, and my boyfriend had to go to a album release for a friend of his whose girlfriend was releasing an album. And so I finish recording, he finishes with the party, we meet together back in the middle, and he's like, so I met Sarah tonight. And I'm like, yes, how was it? Yes. And he goes, her last video was underwater. She plays the cello. And I'm pretty sure she's obsessed with mermaids.
So right.
And I think she'd be great for your podcast. And I'm like, receiving all of this information going, wait, what? He goes, no, but seriously, I think she'd be great. So I texted Abby, and Abby's like, yeah, okay, cool. And then Abby.
And then I reached out to Sarah via Instagram. I was like, hey girl, here's this podcast thing that we do, and I think you should be on it. Would you be interested?
And I totally flipped out. Get it? I could be here all day. Oh, but I was totally ecstatic. Eric, my boyfriend.
Yes. Your boyfriend's name is Eric?
I know. Okay. I'm so glad you noticed that, because when we met, I kind of sort of was like, but I can't tell you that yet.
You'll think I'm crazy.
Right? But it was so funny because I think it was when we got home from the party that Eric was like, yeah, Brendan's girlfriend does this mermaid vlog. And I was like, what? How did I never know this? So
that's so funny.
It's very, very cool. And I would have never thought doing the underwater music video that this is something that could have come up,
Yeah.
out of it. So,
sure.
Life, you're so cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
So, I mean, to sum all of that up, I know nothing about Sarah. Sarah knows nothing about me or Abby. Really.
We're so new here.
We know nothing about each other. So, Sarah, tell us about yourself.
Yes.
Well, I'm a Taurus, and I'm gluten intolerant, and
We too.
Yes, I am.
Too is she.
Oh my gosh, this is great. I mean, it's good to know. Knowledge is power.
That's all right. I'll eat all of your gluten.
Yes,
I'm very happy to
awesome.
eat the gluten.
I love that. Yes, well, I lived in Nashville for 4 years. Oh, nice. I've played the cello since I was 9, so for about 25 years. And I was a swimmer growing up. In fact, when I went to college, I had to choose between swimming and I almost said mermaiding, swimming or celloing. And I just realized there weren't enough hours in the day. And so I was like, well, I'll either practice 6 hours a day or a cello or swimming. And so I still swim, not as often as I would like to. But I was really excited when I came to this point where I'm like, okay, we're about to do this single off my new record, which just came out on November 16th.
Which is called?
Here We Are.
Thank you.
And the song that we did the underwater music video for called I Can See You, I just had this idea to be underwater. I can't remember the moment where I was like, let's do it. But I work with this incredible guy here in town called Jeremy Ryan. And he is just fantastically open to creative ideas. And so I feel so comfortable with him that I was like, all right, I want to do this. Yeah. So I bought 3 cellos to submerge underwater, 2 from Nashville used instrument store. So there's $20 a piece. They were literally going to be thrown away. Yeah. And people were
$20.
Right. And people were so upset on YouTube, and other things were like, oh my God, you just submerged it. And I was like, don't worry. The 200-year-old cello
anyway.
I have. Yeah, it was headed for the heap. Okay.
I was about to say, I mean, you don't sell a cello for $20
exactly.
if it's not.
So no cellos were really harmed in it, but it was really fun to get to do it and execute it. And here we are.
Because I haven't seen the actual video yet. I don't know if it was public at the time because boyfriend had told me about it, but we saw clips of it on your
Yeah, it just
website.
actually went live with the album on the 16th.
Okay.
And actually, really excitingly, on November 21st, Diddy TV is going to be premiering it, like, on television. And television these days is more like internet television, but it's on Roku and all those other, I mean, it's going to be on TV.
That's awesome.
That's so
Go,
exciting.
girl. That's amazing.
Yeah, and it's just so great. Who would have thought? It's one of those things where I just really got to bring both the worlds that I love together, and I got to really just do something I wanted to do, and so all this like cool, amazing, authentic stuff is happening because of it.
What did you kind of learn from doing this underwater?
The cellos don't sink even when you fill them with water, and that I can still hold my breath a long time. We used to have these competitions when I was a swimmer, like how many laps of the pool can you swim before dying? And there was a kid who swam 3 laps, and he did pass out. But
oh my gosh,
that was in high school. Like our lung capacity was different. But yeah, it was so fun, and I kind of felt equipped because I'm just really comfortable in the water. And I think we kind of touched on that when we first talked, how just comfortable the water is. I don't know if it's like all my senses are sort of just like taken care of or what.
Yeah. I kind of feel like, because I feel like my brain, quite honestly, is running so many like miles an hour that for just a moment, like as long as I can hold my breath, that is, everything slows down. And for me, like I had a dance background, and so like the movement underwater and being able to like create like art underwater, it was just like something, I don't know. Yeah, I feel more comfortable under the water than I do out.
Absolutely. And I thought it was like just being a swimmer thing. You just like one lap, another lap. Yeah. It's like a very seemingly super boring sport. But it takes like, you have to keep track of like 25 meter, 50 meter, 75 meter, or whatever. And so you it's sort of meditative in a way.
Yeah.
You have to pay attention to your breathing and all those things. So.
Well, and then Abby, unfortunately, you suffer from 1 or 2 physical things that you've had to deal with in your life. So
it's great for physical things.
Yeah.
It is, for sure.
Yeah, totally.
It's low impact, but it still works a lot of different muscles.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, definitely.
Swimming is so good. It's great for like mental health too. As someone who suffers from anxiety and ADHD, I'm like, it really just kind of is medicine. I don't know how else to put it. And it really definitely got me through so many things in my life.
For sure.
Yay, mermaiding.
Girl, yay, mermaiding.
It's made me think though, have you guys ever tried those, what is it, the sensory deprivation pods?
Like the water one? Like
I have a float tank.
You know what? They wouldn't let me do it because I had purple hair. I literally went to do it, and they wouldn't let me. They're like, your hair's going to like stain our tanks, and they wouldn't let me do it.
That is the most depressing thing.
I know, so I haven't actually been.
Yeah, I was a blonde when I did it, so I guess that makes sense. Yeah, it was fine. Honestly, like, I don't know. It was kind of whatever. Like I think I did it because I was doing my like back injury or whatever, and like afterwards, the pain just came right back. So I was like, why did I do this? But I hear it's great for other things, but I think it just didn't do it for me.
I don't know. I still want to try it. Like,
you
I
should
guess
totally try it for sure.
Different strokes for different folks.
It's scary, like, because they put you in the thing, and like some of them, like some of them are, you can choose open pod or closed pod, and it's completely dark, and like you can't touch your eyeballs or you're gonna get the salt in your eyes, So like,
because it's really high salt content, because
that's why
just
you
naturally
float.
floats you. Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
I'm thinking Stranger Things here. It's exactly what it is.
It is. That's what it is. So
I don't know, but I'm also not like, I'm not afraid of the dark. I don't have claustrophobia, and like things like that have never bothered me. And so I've always wondered, like, what would my body do with it? I mean, I have meditated off and on throughout my life, and so it's never. Slowing down has never been my issue.
I like that about you. Teach me your ways.
Yes. This is why I give you all the books to read, because I can't read them.
I can relate.
Well, because it has its pros and cons, because one of my issues is that if I have too much time on my hands, I become a total slob, like slob. I don't do anything. I don't leave my house. I don't leave. Like, I'm just, I'm cozy and I'm warm and I have books. What does it matter?
Right.
So I actually tend to have a lot of jobs because it forces me to keep busy, and then I can't just sit there and not do anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That sounds pretty about right.
Yeah.
You're a musician here in Nashville.
I'm a musician.
Grew up swimming, doing the swimmy thing.
Where did you grow up?
Yeah.
This is always a fun question to answer. I don't really have a hometown, but I was born in Maryland.
Are you an Army brat?
No, I wasn't actually. My dad was a nuclear engineer. And it just so happened that my mom was an opera singer. And she also is a music educator and pianist. And she's actually an incredible quilter to this day. I know it's wild and crazy, right? So,
That's so adorable.
I know, right?
An
She's
opera
actually the
singer
best.
who is a great quilter.
Does she sing whilst?
Oh,
Quilting.
absolutely. In fact, like growing up,
Darling.
I can always just like remember Mozart, Magic Flute, if anybody's familiar with
Of course, yes.
that. And she would just sing that every time she was doing like at least in my kid memory, that's all I remember her singing. But
That's amazing.
But yeah, music was always around, but I was born in Maryland, and then we moved to Denver, and then we moved to Georgia, and then while my folks were still in Georgia, I moved to South Carolina to go to school. And while I was there, I did an internship here, which got me really hooked on Nashville in 2005. I wrote music for commercials, and it was like,
That's fair.
Yes,
this is
girl.
the world outside of the classical world. I knew, like,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to do what I'm doing now. I had no idea how to get there, and I just, but getting to do something outside of the orchestra was really, really cool, and that kind of opened up my eyes. And then I can't remember which order this was in, and I lived in France for a little, like a semester at school, which was super awesome. And then I graduated from Furman, toured out of Greenville, South Carolina for a while, and after 12 years, longer than I've lived anywhere, I moved to Nashville in 2014.
Wow. That is a crazy story.
Yeah, so basically I think I was like born to do what I'm doing, because I'm okay with traveling, and I know people everywhere I go, it seems like, and I just feel really thankful to have friends everywhere.
Girl.
Now I have mermaid friends.
I know. You
Oh
do.
my gosh! Yeah. So he just sent me a message before I got here, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe the mermaids found you. This is so great." And I was like, "I know. I would have never." It's funny what life gives you, and you don't think
I just
about.
still think it's really funny the way like
Yeah, like who would have
just-
thought?
Yeah, of all the
Boyfriend.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
poor boyfriend.
I
I
know.
never give him a name. Like
he's so
it's-
great.
He's
It's
just
okay.
like, oh yeah, boyfriend knows about it, and they're like,
Boyfriend, he's a good one.
what's his name?
He's
And
a
I'm
good
like,
one.
oh yeah, I guess I should give him one. But give him his name. But like Brendan and Eric, they know each other, I guess, from touring.
Yes, they tour together.
Okay.
They've lived on a bus for a little while together, and Eric thinks just the world of Brendan.
So
It's
do
really
I.
nice. Oh, it's so great. I love that of all the people, just more good people bringing other people together. It's
Yeah,
really cool.
yeah. Because I mean, he had talked about it. He was like, "There's this album release, and it's for my friend, and I'm gonna go to support." And I'm like, "You're such a good guy."
I was so flattered he came, and he even listened to the record top to bottom, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's so nice."
Yeah.
Thank you. So yeah,
Good people. So how did you meet Eric then?
I met Eric at Soulshine Pizza, which doesn't exist anymore.
It doesn't exist
Isn't that
anymore.
crazy? I'm like,
that is crazy.
And I was here, it was actually the week of my 30th birthday 4 or so years ago, and I went to go see a friend play who I didn't get to see very often because he has kids now, and so I get to go see him when he gigs.
Again, people
And
supporting people.
People supporting people. I was out seeing a friend play music, and I just went out and I sat down next to this goofy kid with a mustache, and I literally was just hooked. Oh, there's another one. I didn't even mean to.
That's
Oh yeah, it was
so
totally
the best one.
right, totally. Oh my gosh, and it was just one of those things. And he had just moved to Nashville. I didn't actually even live here yet. And we both, when we met, were like, we didn't move here to date. But
Yeah.
I moved in not long after.
And here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are. That's so cute.
That's really cool. Well, and it's really important, especially for people who tour, to understand
Yeah.
other people who tour.
So
Yeah.
true.
Because that's a hard life. I mean, I get it because I was a theater major in college, and sorry, but like the job is the work, and the work is the life sometimes. And
Well said.
to do it, you've just got to give into it. And to date someone who doesn't understand that, I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it is incredibly difficult. Because Brendan's great. Like, he'll give me his schedule, and I know, when he's leaving and when he's coming back, and kind of
I
what
bet
he's
he's
doing in the
actually
middle.
really good at that.
Yes, he is.
Amazing.
That is his job.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. He's he has to go, and then he has to come back, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me. Like it's not always fun.
It can be wild, especially because your schedules get so different, especially like on a bus life or whatnot, because they're traveling through the night, and then and the interesting part is it's structured, but from the outside, like if you don't have someone who kind of gets that weird rhythm, it can seem very unstructured. So yeah, it's definitely a wild life. Like, and actually, Eric's my first musician. I've never dated a musician before.
Oh,
I know.
Well, when in Nashville,
I know.
Yeah, when in Nashville, but he's a sound engineer, so
that works.
we kind of get to be in the same industry, but kind
Different.
of, we're still a part of each other's world, but
Of course, yes.
but it's a little different.
That's a good
Well
one.
done.
Yes.
That's good too.
Working on it. I should practice more.
Really cute. So when are you going to be touring for the album now?
Working on it now. Actually, I'm. So we just released the record on November 16th, and I am working on the album release tour. And I just did a Kickstarter project. We raised $25,000.
Wow.
That's a lot of money.
It
Girl.
was crazy.
Yes.
I was like, oh my gosh, and it's all to support. Just the funding of everything, because it takes a lot of pieces and parts, and so I'm setting up my shows for next year, and I'm doing a lot of house concerts actually through my Kickstarter.
Cool.
I unveiled a lot of people that have either hosted house concerts for me in the past or want to do it in the future, and so it's great. Along with all the venues I'll be doing across the country, I'll have somewhere to do this, and it's really fun to get to do that because you get to make more community and hang out and eat and drink with people.
Yeah,
and
I have to say, like, I've only ever been to one house concert, but it'll change
yeah.
it for you because it is so comfortable. I mean, you're literally, just a couple of feet from whoever is playing. It feels incredibly personal. It's like they're there to play for you personally.
Yeah.
And that is, especially for somebody who loves music, like, it just fills your heart with like a little pitter
you get to hang out
joy.
with the people that you really want to see, and you get to know them more, and yeah, it's really cool. What's so interesting about the house concert is, I'm totally letting my nerd show here, back in the days of, say, Mozart or whatnot, that's what people did. People came
That's
over
so
to
true.
hear,
I wouldn't have thought about that.
hear music in the salon, but there was also no recorded music. So if you wanted to hear music, you had to go somewhere, and a lot of these people had musicians that were like in-house. They lived in these grand homes and wrote music for these
Whoever lived there.
these patrons.
Yeah.
Oh
That's
my
cool.
gosh.
Yeah, so we're actually just like throwing it back. It's maybe the
For
most
sure.
hipster thing we could be doing right now.
Throw it back to
when in
Beethoven.
Nashville. Yes.
I've noticed that you guys have all your fins around, and I just love it. And the story I wanted to tell you was that
Oh, yes.
so being a swimmer growing up, I think The Little Mermaid came out when I was 8. I don't know, in the 80s, and or whenever that was. And I was a
Actually,
swimmer.
the anniversary was just like
Yeah.
today or yesterday. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how amazing that the
I
record would come
know.
out. Anyway, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when I was 8, I remember asking my mom for a mermaid fin to wear in the water, and she was like, "No, you'll die." Like, no, I'm not
still
gonna do that. And my
have
mom like makes clothes, and she makes things. She quilts. She's like the whole upstairs of her house
she's
is
the
like all mom
quilter.
stuff. Right? And she was like, "No, it's just too dangerous." And I remember being so pissed, just so mad about it. But there wasn't. You couldn't go on
Well,
Amazon.
look at us now,
I know,
Mother.
right? I was like, and so my mom knows
Still
how excited
alive.
I am. Still alive. Thanks for not making me a fin and drowning me. I love you.
I'm pretty sure that's almost the exact story that Sabrina told me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was like, I want to go work at the aquarium.
Yeah, she like made her own like tail out of this shiny fabric that she found, and then she would swim around and watch her shadow to see how it looked,
Oh, wow.
and would tweak it from there. I think.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
When I was competitively swimming, one thing that they did in the water for us was they would line the floor with mirrors.
Oh.
And so you could watch your stroke and how you were swimming from that perspective. It was really cool.
That sounds like a really cool music video.
Yeah, I was going to
Right?
say, or like a really crazy art installation, like especially with like old antique mirrors, like
Yeah.
creeping along in the bottom of the.
We have things to create together. I
Yes,
can
we
feel
can work this out.
Maybe there's a photo shoot too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Later.
Look at all these
I know.
fins.
I'll just have a few here.
She's got one or two.
Just
And they're all just like
Courtesy of Fin Fun, BT
wow,
Dubs,
fin
and
fun.
they're
fin
really
mermaid
comfortable.
tails.
So it's like it's like swimsuit material.
Yep.
Yes,
But
this is
cooler.
the fabric tail, so not the silicone. If you're just listening to this on the Anchor app or wherever you're listening, there is a YouTube version where you can see what we're talking about. But we're talking about the fabric tails from FinFun. And yeah, it's just like stretchy material. And then let me show you.
And actually, the promo photos that Abby and I did for the podcast, the tails that we are wearing are FinFun tails.
Yes, and then it has a little mono fin there.
So you insert it into the fabric.
Yeah, and then your feet go in.
And then you're,
Oh my gosh, it's like,
I know.
you know, when I coached a swim team, because I actually did coach for 15 years while I was alongside trying to build a music career.
Sure.
And I had to actually quit coaching because it was wearing out my voice so much that I created nodules on my throat. And so I had to go through all this healing process with that. And but I always wanted to, when I was coaching my swim team kids, I tied their feet together with goggles sometimes if they couldn't keep their wet feet together for butterfly kick. The parents were there; they knew about it. I'm not worried about it.
Sure.
But it was, I mean, that would have been so great.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you have to do butterfly, you have to use your core.
Abby, would you like to inform her as to your mermaid trick to keep your feet together?
Oh, well, yes, this is probably not safe for children to do, so do not try this at home, children. But yeah, when I was a kid, you know those round pool rings that you would throw in the pool to pick up? Yeah, I would just put those over my ankles and swim like a mermaid. And I was
you've been
like
practicing.
Sabrina. Of course. I was born for this role. Yes, but I was the same as Sabrina, like swimming in the pool. I would look at my shadow and like do the mermaid thing.
I think there's something about it, like you just the shadow kind of, because you can see your ripples in the water too, and then you
And
just
your
feel so
hair.
magical.
And like at the beginning of The Little Mermaid, you know, when it's like, oh, you know, like they're all like, all the people are coming to the castle, you know, and you just see their shadows at first, and then they come up, you know. It's really
valid
magical.
point. Yeah, you are correct.
So I just, you know, in my head, I was one of those mermaids.
Yeah, and that's a really, I mean, that's a famous image of Ariel too. It's just her silhouette. It's the shadow of her.
rock thing.
Somebody told
Or
me I
even
should
just
have
swimming
a
up.
poster
Oh, yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I just say, do you have mermaid nails on?
I do. I got these done for my party. They're glittery, sparkly blue nails.
Oh my gosh.
And it's the dip. So like I
yes, girl,
strum
love
the
that
cello
dip.
instead of like, I use the bow too, but I do a lot of strumming like a guitar player. And
Yep.
so every time I go get my nails done, they're like, do you want fake nails? And I'm like, nope, I literally, like they're too long right now. I was playing cello yesterday.
Wow.
And they're just like too long to like get around the instrument. So
Yeah, girl. Yeah, I broke a couple nails playing piano
Sad
earlier.
day.
I understand.
you
I
have
mean,
beautiful nails. Look at
Oh
that.
no, honey.
But isn't it fun to have sparkly nails?
So fun.
So fun.
Mermaid
Don't look at
sparkle
my
nails.
I don't usually have them done, but
Well, we
From
wash
the
our
party.
hands so much at the preschool. It's not. I mean, the dip would help. Or, you know, that would work really, really well. But I mean, general nail polish isn't gonna last
Nah.
at all with how many times we wash
not
our
at
hands.
all.
so.
Not at all.
No.
Sounded like you going into a New York
I
accent.
know.
I have a character named Louise.
Oh, do you?
Oh, is she your Mersona, as it were?
Oh my god, that's amazing. Mersona. Oh my god, I just have so much to learn.
So much.
Welcome to our life.
I love it. I'm just so glad I'm not the only one, you know?
Yes.
And that's the thing about the mermaid community.
Yeah.
If you, just do a little bit of searching, it's so big.
It's real
like,
big.
there's so many mermaids out
I
there.
was just looking at y'all's Instagram and just following that rabbit hole, you know?
It's a lot.
Yeah, I have a lot of photographers following me. Photographers and mermaids recently.
I'm really sorry.
No.
Every time I tag you, they're just going to keep following.
Well, it's not the photographer. The photographers are not. I don't think because of you. It's because of my sister's wedding.
Oh.
Because I've liked a couple of wedding
Right.
venues and or photographers, and now I'm getting all of these back, and I'm like, oh, I didn't need anything. I just like pretty
thank you.
pictures.
All the internet.
But yeah, the mermaid. Oh, that's really fun. And I mean, they'll always call Abby if they're in town.
That is
Yeah.
so awesome.
I just had another one ask if she could come through. So
Yay!
all the mermaids are welcome at Hotel Boutwell.
Yay, mer people.
Yes.
I'm really excited. I just actually commissioned, and I started with the cover of this idea on my baseball t-shirts that are part of my merchandise for this record. It's I'm going to make a coloring book. And so there's going to be a mer person picture associated with each song on the record. And I have the coloring book cover. It's a t-shirt, it's a greeting card, it's a sticker right now, and it's like a cello waterfall with these mer people. And I really want to do something where it's like all kinds of mer people, like men and women and like just all kinds of gender and just different shapes and sizes.
And they're all out there.
They are. It's so great. We need more emojis.
Oh my gosh, we do. Wow.
That's awesome.
So that'll be released like once I'm going to do a song a month in 2019 and release it on my Patreon page.
Awesome. Oh my gosh. Well, whenever that happens, we will
soon.
alert the masses.
I'm so glad that y'all appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
It's another one of those anxiety things,
Let's
coloring.
applaud boyfriends for paying attention.
Yay,
Way to go,
boyfriends!
boyfriends.
Yay, good people!
Good job, babe.
Boyfriend.
You just know me.
He was like, I think she's mermaid obsessed. And like,
totally.
you either know or you don't. Honey.
You just know.
Yeah. Wow.
It's like candy corn. You really love it or you don't.
Or you really don't.
Right.
So true.
I personally love it.
Me too.
Great.
Great. We're going to do great.
Yes, it's going to be so
What
good.
about you? Oh, one in every bunch.
I mean, I don't know. It's not my go-to candy. Chocolate's my
Me
go-to
too,
candy.
for sure.
Sure.
So, I
That's
mean,
understandable.
We're drinking hot chocolate right now.
candy corn is there. I'm gonna eat it.
Sure. Sure.
It's candy.
You know what? I was at a party and this girl was like, you need to try eating the candy corn with a peanut. And so I
like a salted one?
Yes, like together.
Valid question.
And it kind of tasted like peanut butter.
I can see that.
Because it's like the sugar and the candy corn probably with the peanut.
yeah.
It was delightful.
I'm gonna have to try that.
Yes, you
I'd
must.
be down for that.
You must.
I love it.
I'll have to wait until next year because I'm pretty sure they've gathered up all the used candy
no,
corn
no.
by
No,
this
what do they
point.
do with that?
No, have you not been to Walgreens? They have it all on like 70% off clearance. And because I'm on like the Mermaid meal plan, I just pass through that aisle. But every time I pass by, I'm like, I really need that. But I don't pick it up.
After watching one of your vlogs, it took me to another mer thing. And
Sure.
As it
it was like a competition between a fairy and a mermaid cooking contest.
Oh my gosh.
It's really great.
Talking about that.
Oh, really? So you, of
We
course,
were.
yeah. That's hilarious. Yeah, it came on like right after one of y'all's videos.
Well, we were just talking about how there should be a mermaid, like, what is the British?
Yeah, the Great British Baking Show.
There should be a mermaid version because of and so, but
Because of
Lauren played a fairy while she was in LA for a very great company. And so the fairy and the mermaid, I'm like, what?
Seems right.
I wonder who it was. Do we know them?
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Most likely. Yeah, I've done a lot of the princessing things. So like the company that I worked for in LA was Happily Ever After. Incidentally, a fantastic group to work for. And we had, I mean, our big thing was fairies. We were fairies, and it was these beautiful like handmade costumes that they had. Like the wings were handmade too. They were gorgeous. And then, but I mean, I was oh my gosh, the best one was a Super Bubble Ranger.
What?
It was so great. It was just this like crazy sequined gold and silver and white costume with this massive tutu and like gold leggings and these
my gosh.
silver leg warmers.
That
and
sounds so magical right now.
Silver leg warmers? That sounds great.
It was all kinds of stuff. And so, and I had these little like bubble shooters and I'd just be like, bubbles! And that's how I came out and they just...
Amazing! I love it.
Wow.
It was great.
That is great.
It was real
There's a lot of
fun.
fun things in the world.
Yeah. So...
Well, I mean, we must be behind the times if we haven't done a fairy and a mermaid baking
I guess
next
so.
episode.
show.
What would they bake? What would they cook? Like, what would be the challenge?
Well, a fairy would have to go with petite fours because, I mean, they're small creatures.
That's true. See, I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah.
Huh.
Some kind of fish. I could be a mermaid because I like fish. It's really good for you. You know,
Yeah.
snapper all day.
Fish all friends.
Fish are friends and
Also
you know.
food.
And also
Yeah, and
food.
also I'm not a
Sorry,
pescatarian.
Sebastian. I really like your legs.
There's probably some way they work it
Well,
out.
I did a vlog once where my friend Donald and I made mermaid toast.
Oh, yeah.
See that? It was like interesting. It was like toast with cream cheese and then like just sparkle stuff.
Nice.
And
It sounds like a less interesting bagel.
Yeah, that
Good point.
essentially that's what. And of course, I had to have gluten-free toast.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's your favorite
Therefore,
gluten-free bread?
I like the Udi's Browns
Me too.
the most.
Yeah, I think it's the most legit.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of our similarities, I have to say, every time, so we texted a little bit before this podcast, and I was telling Lauren, I was like, Lauren, I've never met somebody that was so meant to be with me, and not in a weird way at all, in a very normal way. But like, we kept talking, I'm like, yep, and yep, that makes sense,
Yeah.
yes.
And
yes,
I'm going to send you this mermaid gift.
yeah, okay. Yeah, like, it's crazy. So I have a classical background as well.
Oh, that's right. Piano, right?
Piano.
Yeah.
So you're classical, I'm classical. We're both gluten-free. We're both Mermaid fans.
Totes.
What was the other? There were so many things.
So
I'm
many
like feeling
candy
I feel
corn.
like the left out one over here.
I mean,
I'm
you're
not
the one who
gluten-free.
brought us together.
I'm not
But
gluten.
yeah, but that's here's the thing
Besides
though. Yeah, we always have to have a Lauren
Because look at us.
because look at us, yes. So we both have anxiety.
We need people to ground us.
Yes. So,
So true. It's so true. I'm always buzzing around and I don't even like realize I'm like running into things.
right, for sure.
I do
That's
not have
pretty
this
good.
problem.
Yeah, I'm like in my meditation series, which I do every morning. It's like
That's awesome.
try and be present and remember when you stand up and just notice when you stand up and sit down. And I'm like, that's the most absurd thing I've ever heard. I don't have time to notice when I stand up or sit down. Like, what?
Whereas I'm like sitting over here actively looking for a place to sit.
Right.
Pretty much at all times. I'm like, when is the next time I can sit down?
Oh
That
my
would be
gosh.
stupendous.
So great. Well, you know, yin and the yang. You know.
For sure. And that's why it works at the Everyday
That's true.
Mermaid podcast.
That is true.
That is why it works.
Totally.
For sure. So every podcast, we do have what we call the hashtag Jody moment, which is specifically for
Jody Benson.
the voice of the Little Mermaid. So I don't know, do you have a favorite like Jody moment? Or just something that you just love about Jody Benson?
Well, you know, Jody Benson, she figured something out really early.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is exactly, but she figured it out.
Yeah.
I actually was thinking about Jody Benson, and I know growing up in a Southern Baptist household, I know that
Which is
I had,
another
like-
similarity. I'm so sorry.
Yes.
to
Oh, yeah. That
interrupt.
is one that we talked about.
Southern
You're so
Baptist
right.
household.
So true. And my first concert that I remember, kind of backing it up a little bit, was Sandy Patty.
Yep.
And when I was 4, my mom
Probably
was
have
like,
no
Not
idea
a
what we're
clue.
right.
doing.
So Sandy Patty is like a pop. She actually just went on her retirement tour, final farewell tour, I think last year, and she's like a pop opera.
Jesus music.
Yeah, Christian
yeah,
music.
that'll be why.
Right, and so I grew up a lot of this like with Amy Grant growing up, and my mom took me to
her.
Okay.
right? Yeah, she lives here in town, right? So I went to this concert. My mom was 2 days away from having my brother. Like
Oh my
this
gosh.
is, yeah, she's super pregnant. I remember going with my mom and dad. She said that on the way to the concert, I told everybody in the car that I was going to meet Sandy Patty. And they were like, ha ha ha, 4-year-old Sarah. It's so funny. And then during the show, Sandy Patty invited everybody up on stage, like all the girls. Sorry, not girls, all the kids.
Kids, yeah.
And we were dancing around like crazy. And all I really remember is like walking off the stage and seeing my dad. And then this arm touches me and grabs me. And I was like,
It
oh
was
my God, it's Sandy Patty. And she was like, you're the craziest dancer. And so like I got a t-shirt and I got a Polaroid. It's somewhere on my Instagram feed. I've posted it
Oh
before.
my God.
And I think I actually just posted it like a month or so ago because I tagged her in it and she responded. Oh my God. I know,
Sandy
right?
Patty?
I know, right? So I'm on the Sandy Patty train because I
Oh my
listened to her
gosh.
like she had a Friendship Company tape. That's what concert we were
Yes.
at. And then there was another Jody Benson tape that was out around the same time. And I know I also listened to her. It must have been like Bible songs or
Yeah.
something. And I can't. I even looked it up, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
but that was like
yes.
around the same time for me. So Jody was more than just the Little Mermaid to me. But that of course was why I love listening to it because I
Yeah.
thought the Little Mermaid was like reading the Bible to me,
Right.
which
Like,
I could get behind.
whoa.
So it was just one of those things.
I
But
mean,
that's
the
my
woman
Jody
does have
moment.
a fantastic voice.
I mean,
like
that's
speaking and
incredible.
singing.
It's
so.
incredible.
Sure.
Like the woman who did what was it? Do you remember the show Real Monsters?
Oh
Real
gosh.
Monsters. There's a woman in there who does like all the voices for like Rugrats and like all this other stuff,
okay.
and she's another one of those voices to me. I wish I could remember her name. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, see,
Jodie Benson.
All
for
Real
the win.
Monsters and Rugrats was not my first thought when I went to people I wanted to listen to more.
Right, I don't know what it was about that voice though. Like it's like the twins. It was Tommy and Chucky, and I was just like a little, I don't know, probably nostalgia. That's probably what it is. But
So funny.
yeah, I'm gonna have to keep searching for
Okay.
that
Yeah, we
Jodie
gotta
Benson
find
tape
that Jodie Benson tape.
because I'm sure I have it in a box.
Yeah, I
With all my
remember.
American
I remember
Girls.
the Sandy Patty stuff for sure, and Jodie Benson. I feel like that's in my memory, but yeah, there were a lot of Jesus music tapes back
Totally.
in the day.
Yeah,
So
I even had the
find
ones where you'd buy it so you could listen to one side without the words, and then you'd turn it
Yeah.
over, like for whatever music
Yeah.
I was listening to. I bought a bunch of tapes like that.
for sure,
This was before YouTube.
right. We're dating ourselves.
How old are we now?
That's right. Actually, YouTube came out the year I graduated college. So
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Ben.
I forget that I grew up in a world that didn't have YouTube.
what did we do
I
before
know.
MapQuest? I mean, besides
I got-
before Google Maps.
Right.
I mean, luckily those were not around. Those were like, I was not driving and did not have my own car
Right.
before
Yeah.
those things became a thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm lost all the time.
Yeah, remember those days when we had to like actually print out the directions?
Know
to get
where
to
you were
places?
going
Yeah.
before you left the house.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Gosh, so crazy.
Sometimes I wonder how I got to this point in my life.
Right?
We did it.
Somehow we made it.
I know. A giant question mark.
But
Oh,
here
so
we
good.
are at the Everyday
Indeed, here
Mermaid
we are.
podcast. Living our best life.
That's right. I have to say we really are. Like,
Oh, for sure.
I mean,
for sure.
I'm looking around and it's the week of Thanksgiving right now, and I'm just like, I'm feeling really grateful.
Yeah, for sure. For
That's
sure.
so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just so grateful that like it's so crazy that
I
we
know.
got connected.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's just what this thing is all about.
That's so
like,
true.
oh, I just love it.
Yeah.
Connection and just so much fun.
Yeah, and having a good time, you know?
Yeah.
I'm all about that. I
sure.
really
Yeah.
think that if we feel good, we're gonna like be good and do good together. So like stuff
For
like
sure.
this, it feels good. People are like, so why mermaids? I'm like,
Why the
excuse
heck
me?
not?
why not? Okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, for me, I'm like, all things mythical.
Yeah.
Yeah, me
for
too. I love
sure.
dragons. I've got a
Yeah.
dragon painted on my cello case, and it's kind of like it's a spirit animal in a way that it's kind of got a little bit more power for whatever like the connotation. I just kind of feel this magic's nice.
Because I grew up with these books, and I'm not going to be able to. Dealing with Dragons. That's the first
wow.
book. And it's so good because it's like this girl who literally gets kidnapped by a dragon, and she's like, no,
Yeah.
how dare you? And it turns out the dragon is a girl, and she's like, dude, you can leave whenever you want to. Like, I just thought this might be interesting for you. And
That's funny.
and they become like really good friends, and there's
Aw.
like, I mean, years and years and years ago that this was, so I'm not remembering anything in the right order, but like the dragon tries to become king, and so this girl is going, you can be king, you're a girl. She's like, no, it's just whoever rules, like you're the king, like it doesn't matter what gender you are.
Oh.
Wow.
And I was like,
This is a very advanced book.
Yes, how
yeah,
very
and now
modern
we're
and
talking like
progressive
elementary,
of you.
middle
Yeah.
school. I was reading this and like, yeah, and they were like,
Empowerment.
exactly, and they were like, and the queen is whoever it is too, and they don't really do anything. So
Wow.
Wow, that's amazing.
so yeah.
That's so funny.
So I was big. I was always big on dragons being sentient, intelligent, and
Yes.
not filled with the need to burn people to a crisp all the time.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was a big fan.
yeah, totally.
Sweet.
Well, okay.
All right.
Did you have any other questions for us?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, when can we hang out again?
When can we go like swimming?
Yeah, we have to go
Like,
swimming.
all
Yeah,
ourselves?
Yay.
Awesome.
Well,
Thank you,
this-
ladies.
This has been just such a pleasure.
Likewise.
And I just can't believe that the world brought us together.
So cool. Thanks,
Everybody, yeah, go check out her underwater music video.
Yes.
And where is like the best place for them to watch it?
It's right on my homepage on my website at sarahclanton.com.
Clanton.
That's right. It's Sarah with an H.
Yes.
With an H, yes.
Yeah, and it's right there
Very
on
important.
the site, and it'll be on Diddy TV, on your Roku and Amazon and all that stuff on November 21st.
So cool.
This might happen after.
So if people want to follow you on the Instagram, where should they follow you?
Sarah Cello.
Yes.
SarahCello.
To be honest, that's your name in my phone.
Yes, I love it. You know, I got on Instagram like right when it became a thing, and
Yeah.
I have not changed it because I'm just like, oh,
You've got it now.
Yeah,
it's
that
mine.
totally works.
Yeah,
Totally
like
works.
it's easy. Sarah Cello.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine is based off a song. So
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, so you can follow Lauren at Beauty in the Mess
Yep.
on Instagram, and I am at Mermaid Vlogs. As far as this Everyday Mermaid podcast is concerned, obviously you're listening to this somehow, somewhere, but you can download the Anchor app and actually leave us a voice message.
What?
You can tell us what you think, give us some mermaid book tips or something, some show we should
a
watch.
topic we should talk about.
Topic we should talk about. You know, we mentioned, the fantastic fashion. We still need to know what to wear in wintertime.
What are
so
you guys wearing?
we need to know these things. So leave us a
question.
voice message. We would love to know. And until next time, I guess, mermaids, we'll see you on the flip side.
Bye, y'all.
All my mermaids.